We have a new moon coming up on June 6th, and that means we're in the waning lunar phases. Do you know what lunar phase you were born under and what that means? That's what Stephen Forrest's Book of the Moon is all about, and now it's on audiobook narrated by, well, me. You can pick it up at Audible without a subscription and Apple Books. Welcome in to the Monday edition of the Fun Astrology Podcast. Thomas Miller, I'm so glad you are here and that we get to spend a couple of minutes at least together today. Hi, we're going to be talking about Monday, June 3rd, where the chart really, I guess today is kind of the marker point where this chart starts to break apart a little bit. I know it's early on Monday. Let me start you off with a little bit of math, if I might. We've been talking about this bundle, this really tight cluster of planets. And over the weekend, you may have seen on social media some of the posts about all the planets are in this alignment. Well, okay, that's true. They are. All you do is look at a chart and you can see. But they're not one conjunction after another. So just to be a little bit nitpicky technical, they're close, but not total conjunctions with each other. That would be probably the star that the wise men followed to the manger scene. I don't know. But here's what we do have. On Saturday, the difference between the sun on one side and Saturn on the other, we're excluding Pluto here, just going from the sun to Saturn. That lineup was 83 degrees in the sky apart. Now, to put that in perspective, we talk about the square aspect of 90 degrees. This is 83. And Mark Edmund Jones, with his bundle pattern, says that that's anything under 120 degrees. So we are in a bundled bundle. I don't know how they could be a little closer, but boy, that would be really tight. 83 degrees on Saturday. Now, here's the deal. Today, they're 85 degrees, so we're gaining ground. In other words, it's spreading out. By Saturday, the difference between the sun and Saturn will be 90 degrees. And then by June 17th is when it really thins out. By that time, Venus and Saturn will then be 109 degrees apart. So we've said that the bundle is going to break up in June. Here we are. And that gives you some numbers of exactly how it is going to start thinning out. But for today, we are still stacked up. Two aspects today have already happened. The moon entered Taurus. Taurus is kind of a focal point here today. The moon entered Taurus at just before 2 a.m. Eastern. Then at 3:35, Mercury entered Gemini. That gives us 4 planets in Gemini. Mercury, which rules Gemini, Jupiter, then Venus, the other benefic. So Jupiter and Venus, the 2 great benefic planets, the 2 happy planets in the astrology chart, and the sun, all now in Gemini. And Venus and the sun are basically on top of each other because tomorrow at 11:30, they will kiss on the lips. So we just mentioned a really lucky setup. So I think this would be a good time to pause and hear from Kristen about this week's Lucky Stars forecast.
Hi, Thomas and astrology friends. This is Kristen with your Lucky Stars report. Monday is more cautionary. However, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are my lucky days to watch. By Thursday afternoon, definitely be buttoning up anything that you're doing because we are rolling into more challenging days on Friday and Saturday. Thomas and I go into all the details in the Lucky Stars Club. So if you want to figure out how to use this in your chart, definitely join. I hope you all have a lucky week.
Thanks, Kristen, and we would love to have you in the club, absolutely. Okay, one other thing today. The sun and the north node are in a favorable 60-degree sextile aspect. So the north node and the south node are always opposite each other. That means that the sun and the south node are in a trine aspect, also favorable. So let's put all this together. We've had a big shift in energy. Things have moved out of Taurus and have now entered Gemini. That means that it's time to put action to what we created back during the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. We're going to have an old soul, new soul out on this here very soon, but basically, if you attended that webinar that Robert and I did, you could go back and re-listen to the area of your rising and sun signs, review what he said about what was possible and where the energy was aligning, and now, for the next month, it's time to put action to that. That's where you put the feet to the fire. We are in a really good season here in Gemini until the Sun and Venus move out, which is just going to be in a couple of weeks. So this is a tight window. Don't blink, you'll miss it. Then that aspect between the Sun and the South and North nodes is always just an opportunity to sit down with your journal and to ask the universe and ask your soul and ask your higher self, how can I grow? What's there for me to release and what is there for me to take up? What should I let go of? What vacuum should I create? Letting go, creating space, and what would fill it? And always for my highest good. So the keyword that I'm going with for today is effective action. So this is checking in with your soul, checking in with your highest self, and then getting your little feet busy because you've got a lot of energy to support you in the sky for a while. So take advantage of it. We have a huge, busy, big day in the sky tomorrow. We'll talk about it all, and I'll see you back for tomorrow's episode. Have a great Monday. Love you. Bye-bye.